If you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than
It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm to run the fast breaks, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast breaks, throw me the outlet. We on the break. It's fast breaks. We on the break. It's fast break. Let's go.
Top of the morning tea, top of the morning tea, and let's get this tea, let's get this tea, let's get this tea, let's get this tea.
what are you doing?
What up, my brother?
Where?
You don't listen to secular music, you don't get the reference.
I actually really don't.
We on the break. It's fast break. Let's go.
Are you doing a brand endorsement right now?
Powered by Casita.
Are we getting paid for that? Hold on, wait a second. Are we getting paid for that endorsement? No.
It's not on us. That's
Hold
crazy.
on. Put that cup down. Put that cup down, unless we're getting paid by them.
Your ad could go here.
Your ad could go here, actually.
When you go to Casita, just say the FBP boys sent me.
Stop it. I didn't see any transactions coming in our end.
Order a large chai latte.
Listen.
At least I didn't say run your game.
What?
It's coming soon.
What?
It's coming soon.
They gonna sponsor every pod that exists, bro.
Every damn one. They're not playing.
Oh man, you never know.
Tell them to sponsor us. What the hell? Hold on.
We're working on that.
He's coming soon.
Top of the morning, you know what it is. I'm Rhoda, host with the mostest, and I do believe you know this. Below us is King Dre, your Haitian uncle, and it's
because I am somebody's Haitian uncle. I'm a couple somebody's Haitian uncle.
You're everyone. You're everyone.
That's crazy.
The America's favorite Haitian uncle.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
And America runs on. See you right
See,
there.
You could have had your ad here.
Right there. Come on, DD. Right, come on. And to the left, the architect, the professional Morpheus, Alan, the man with the plan. We are down our brother Paul. We wish him the best. Blessings, and more life in all his endeavors. I think hopefully all is well in his life. If it is, then I'm gonna let this joke fly. This man is so lucky he's not ducking smoke today.
He doesn't have to duck any smoke today.
Yeah, and he's lucky.
He doesn't have any smoke to duck. Let me tell you something. Knicks in 7.
Right.
No,
we'll get there. Let's start off.
Not just right, but correct.
We got a pack to smoke. Y'all ready to smoke this pack?
That's true. T-Wolves pack.
Dante DiVincenzo, roll him up. Nas Reed, roll him up.
Julius Randle,
pack him up.
Paul was trying to tell
Chris Finch with his new knee, pack him up.
Paul was trying to tell y'all about somebody.
Nikhil Alexander Walker, pack him up.
Jaden McDaniels,
We got
Act
Jaden
up.
McDaniels. All right.
Act up. And unfortunately, it's the end of the AE1 run.
Wow. You forgot about it.
Who would I forget? Oh, Mike Conley. Maybe pack him up for good.
You actually
It might be. It might be the end for him.
Your number one ops.
Conley?
No, your number one ops. Who's your number one ops? You diss this man every episode.
Because
Every episode.
you know who's at the scene of the crime when it's time to pack it up. There's 3 players. There's 3 players who are always at the scene of the crime. Pat Bev.
Yep.
Who else? Who did I say before? Oh, Dylan Brooks
Every time.
and Rudy Gobert.
Every time.
First class flights to Cancun every year. Book them. If they are on your team, you might get to conference finals. You might get close. But
Fair,
that's
ask you a question.
Yeah,
ask you a question. The Lakers are in the market for a big man this summer,
no,
right?
no.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
No.
You know their number one plan is to go back and get AD somehow, right?
Of course, duh. And Kyrie. We finna. If y'all didn't know, we're jumping them. Like this is a full-fledged, like, take chains off. Shout out MOP. Take chains off, take everything off. We coming back for our assets.
That's good.
Y'all got flagged now. Y'all good. And PJ Washington, y'all be all right.
PJ Washington.
Y'all be all right. Come slap me my point guard because high key, I'm beginning to fear. I think Austin might dip.
I think so too.
He probably is low key.
I think so too. He's gonna get the bag.
Yeah, he played himself into a bag this year, and we have him for like I think 2 more years or another year on a discount, like a bad discount. Like he getting $14 million a year. That boy probably like 5 at least. Would you say?
Yeah, I think I'll trade him away before it let him walk.
Hell no.
Ooh.
Well, maybe if he comes out hot next year, but I'm not trying to make no more trades next year, bro. Like I'm trying to figure this team out in the summer and just rock. Like I'm kind of done.
You got a lot of holes to fill for real.
Not that many. Just need a perimeter defender, 3-and-D guy, and an athletic big, ideally 2.
You don't think that's 4 players you're asking for? That's not a lot of holes.
No, just 3 players.
You just said ideally 2 of them.
Yeah, ideally 2 bigs and a perimeter defender who can shoot threes with some size. That's it.
And a wing defender.
That's what I'm talking about. Perimeter defender who can have some size. Yeah, 3 players.
Okay, all right.
That's all. Anyway, but yeah, Ant-Man packed him up. The AE1, that was one of the longest debut sneaker runs I've ever seen. 2 seasons, 2 conference finals appearances. Pardon me. Excuse me. Any parting words for the Timberwolves, or we'll get to the Thunder and give them their praise in a second. But any parting words for the Timberwolves, Alan?
Grow up.
Damn.
You said grow up.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
No, I'm dead ass.
Continue.
You gotta grow up. Listen, the whole YN, like young boys, no one sees us coming. That's dead now. Everybody knows who you are. You have to grow up and you have to mature and take the next step in basketball together.
I like that take. There's expectations now.
Correct.
Do you feel like because they got to their conference finals again, we feel that way? Because we didn't feel that way at the end of the season, did we? Like, we weren't expecting the Timberwolves to make another run.
Correct. No, it's entirely because they made it back to the conference finals. Whatever situations may have led to that, maybe it's fortune, maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves. And again, they didn't just lose. This is the second conference finals in a row that they got completely outplayed.
Right. Outclassed, you might say.
Outclassed and outplayed. It's the one thing to lose. You lose a game, life happens. You go 7 and you lose by a point, life happens. I get it. You gave it your all. But there's never been a point in this series against the Thunder, and this is to the Thunder's credit, I suppose. I never saw the Timberwolves truly give it their all or play cohesive enough basketball.
Game 3.
Game 3 was good.
Yeah, they put belt to ass that one. That's true. All right.
Even then, the Thunder did look like they just were like, all right, recalibrating.
Yeah, no, dead ass. He didn't move the
Okay.
needle on them whatsoever.
Recalibrating, yeah.
He didn't move the needle on. So that's the next step they got to take. And for the love of God, somebody, anybody, go work out with Rudy Gobert. For the love of God. I'm tired.
Yeah, bro. That man's like, how old is he now?
He can't. He
I want to
can't.
say
What did Stephen A. Smith
ain't
say
working
about
out with
Kwame
him.
Brown? Not Kwame
he
Brown.
can't play.
He can't play. He can't.
He's 32.
He can't commit a post move to memory. That's what I'm seeing.
There's no working out with him. He's 32.
A post move to memory. Every layup is like this. Why? Dunk the goddamn basketball. What's wrong with you?
Parting words, I guess.
Yeah, parting words.
Yeah, parting words. I mean, not so much parting words, but I kind of like this happened to them. I think this is just another part of like their development, specifically for Ant. I like that he's getting here and losing because he keeps coming back with more tools in his shed. So like you saw this year how he came back with like he became like an elite 3-point shooter. I feel like there's some very clear things he needs to work on this summer. So I feel like him getting this experience, seeing how the Thunder defended him, and seeing how clearly that made him like very uncomfortable and he didn't know what to do about it at times, I feel like it's just going to be, another thing that's going to drive him and make him even better next year. And we're going to see him come back as a different player. This year he came back and became like an elite 3-point shooter. So I feel like next year he's going to add something else and it's going to just make him even more dangerous player. He's only 23. He's still mad young. So I do like him getting all the way to the conference finals and losing because he's getting his reps and it's going to make him a more complete player at the end of the day. In terms of the Timberwolves overall, though, it's time to like get serious about which direction you're going with this team. You know what I mean? Like it's time to like figure out a plan and like really dive into it. Figure out what your team identity needs to be. Figure out whether you want to like what kind of second start you want to put next to Ant. Or figure out whether you want to develop. What's that rookie guard? I don't know if y'all remember the rookie guard that he played for.
Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, he played for UConn, right? Or was he Kentucky?
He's very raw though, but he has got a lot of talent.
He's so talented. So I think it's time to figure out where you want the next Ant needs to be. Because another thing they could use is another like great wing player next to Ant that will help open up his game. So it's time for him to figure out. Yeah, I was going to say, do you think they
need another perimeter scorer?
Yeah, I think that would help him out a lot.
Perimeter with the Ant.
Yeah, I think that would help him out. And I think you also need to figure out making a decision with Naz too. It's time to figure out whether because he might be gone this year. So figure out if you want to pay him the big bucks or start figuring out a replacement. Because
how about start him?
Start him would be a good decision.
Exactly.
Did Jaden Daniels show you enough to become? Well, so let me think. Their starting lineup is Mike and Jaden, Julius, Rudy, right?
Yeah. Did he show me enough? I think overall, I do like him.
Do you move Ant to PG?
No.
And start Nas and make Jaden Daniels your 2?
I think you put Julius Randle on the bench.
That's a lot of money you're paying for a bench player. It's a lot of money.
No, it's a lot of money you're paying for a 6-man that gets good minutes and runs with the second rotation, which is a lot. We need to have a lot of
money for a 6-man.
You need to have some very mature conversations. And we've seen teams do it. We've seen the Thunder do it. We've seen the Spurs do it. There have been
We've not seen the Thunder do it. Not with a player that was that well paid.
He wasn't good. Well, that's true. But we've seen it not necessarily paid, but important. They moved James Harden.
You can do that when a guy's young and he's not paid that much.
That's true. But the Spurs did it. The Spurs did it with Manu, and he was still getting paid. And it worked.
Was he getting paid?
Yes, he was. I mean, he might have not been making as much as in his heyday, but he wasn't on a vet minimum.
Julius is on a max, no?
I'm pretty sure it's on a max.
I don't know if you can put a max player on your bench, bro.
You might have to. You got to make some hard decisions.
Does that actually? Yeah, he's on a 4-year, 107. Oof. He got a. Oh, it's not that much of a max. His salary is about 30 a year.
That's not crazy. You can put him on the bench.
At the time, that was kind of a max, though. It was close to
And then,
a max.
and then the end of the game, you end with Naz Reid and him in the lineup. But you got to alternate because right now he thrives, obviously, running next to Ant. They had a good starting rotation for the entire season. But coming out, Naz Reid's offensive firepower is just, quite frankly, more than his. So maybe you alternate it. Maybe it's not every game. But they got to figure – the truth is, there's no second star on this team.
Right.
So before you make any lineup changes, you really got to figure out that part.
Well, I mean, Julius Randle has been an all-star 3 times. Again, like
that's not – he's not –
I know what you mean, but, like, this is a tough thing to communicate. Like, we don't have a second star when we have a 3-time all-star on our team.
That doesn't – how many times all-star was Mike Conley? I mean, that doesn't really matter.
Was Mike Conley an all-star?
I don't think he ever was.
I think he was an all-star at least one time.
In the West? Nah, I think he was like the classic, like everyone knows he's nice, but there's too many guards in the West.
Yeah.
He might have made one. He made one in 2021, which is actually crazy. But he made it as an injured reserve for Devin Booker. So
still.
You know what I mean? Like And
Rudy's also been an all-star.
We don't count that.
Exactly. Why don't we count that? Because we know Rudy doesn't produce. We know, and Paul's been saying Julius Randle does not produce in the offseason, in the postseason. That
wasn't true this year though.
It was this year.
But he had bad games.
Yeah, the first half of this playoffs, he was
fantastic. But when it mattered the most,
Ant also struggled this series.
That's true.
Yes.
So when you go back and go ahead.
Part of that struggle is the fact that Julius is struggling. So it's easy.
Oh, that's kind of chicken. That's kind of chicken egg, though.
It is. Well, maybe, but also think about it, right? If they don't have to worry about Julius, you get away with those double teams.
You could say the same thing about Ant. Like Ant getting clamped for 3 of the 5 games they played. Like they can load up the paint against Julius, and he's less effective. You know what I mean? It kind of. I think it's more of a team issue than Julius not showing up.
I feel like I didn't see a lot of loading up against Julius. I feel like I saw a lot of Julius missing and getting frustrated and waiting to get calls and not getting back on defense. Like I feel like there wasn't there wasn't a defensive scheme that was thrown at him that's like, we're going to mess up Julius. It was just like,
you didn't feel like he took more jump shots this series?
I feel like that was internal. Like I don't think I don't think
they were. Ant even said they were sitting in the gaps heavy on both of them.
I feel like you're kind of right on it. It's not so, but it's not just like the schemes against him too. It's also the matchup. He wasn't able to like do his regular bully ball stuff that he typically does. Yeah. So it's not just a scheme that was against him; it's the matchup. So that took him out of the rhythm a little bit too. So we gotta give credit to the Thunder, man. They just played.
No, they're a fantastic, really run team. They are wow.
It was just a bad matchup against Minnesota. So I don't want to just throw it all on like Julius saying that he choked again because he didn't play well this series. But I do think a big part of it is just the Thunder's defense. I gotta give them credit too.
What do y'all think about the idea of like shifting Ant to PG? Is that a thing?
No.
I mean, all his peers in content, like we don't really see most of the stars in the game today at the upper echelon are the primary ball handlers for the team, unless they have an all-star point guard on the team.
Yeah,
that's kind of the model we're moving toward.
I'll tell you what, I feel like it's
a star who doesn't have an all-star point guard that doesn't just play point guard.
Giannis.
He has an all-star point guard.
Oh, that's true. The parameter again is who doesn't have an all-star point guard
and doesn't play point guard.
I guess Jokic plays point center,
but he has a quasi all-star point guard. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Jamal Murray, but like Jamal Murray is better at this point in his career than Mike Conley. We can say that he put up a 40 ball in the playoffs.
Joel Embiid, but we haven't seen that in years.
Tyrese Maxey is going to be an all-star.
That's true.
I feel like he already made the All-Star team, no?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did. He did. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you're a star player and you don't have an all-star point guard, you're gonna have the. That's why if you can't,
Get the
they go
ball,
get
yeah.
you one, right? Like if you cannot play point and you're a star, they go get you an all-star point guard because like if the ball's not gonna be in your hands, it's got to be in an elite player's hands.
Right.
So Ant is like the only one who like. And even if you watch the play, part of the defensive scheme that worked against the Thunder is the fact that the ball was in Ant's hands a lot.
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna have Ant be on ball that much, that's what I'm saying. Like Alan said, maybe the off guard isn't a Mike Conley who's just gonna spot up and doesn't really penetrate as much at this point in his career. Maybe you just need to go get another. Maybe you start Nikhil, who had some really good games in this series, right? Like what? And then you have some side. What does that lineup look like? Same starting lineup. You just pull Conley, let Conley run the bench squad. You start Ant at point, Nikhil at 2.
Yeah.
Jaden, Julius, and Rudy, and then you got Nikhil, and you got Mike Conley, DiVincenzo, and Nas as your bench unit.
Yeah, it's a thought.
It's like the thought of Ant playing the point is very like it's intriguing to me. I want to see it for like a couple games, but like I also feel like it won't take away from what he does best, but I feel like it would take away from his develop. Like part of the things I want to see him develop that I was talking about earlier, I kind of want to see him get into like that mid post range game, like a la Kobe.
That Kobe Jordan game, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I want to see him do that. So I feel like him dominating the ball, like
they would have to actually run offense for that to happen.
Yeah, they would.
Exactly. Facts.
Enough of this YN pickup basket. I'm telling you, they need to.
It's not pickup. It's organized basketball. It's just very like the offense they run. This is my point. Like it puts the ball in his hands to be the creator anyway. But now you're off guard. Like Mike Conley essentially is your off guard, which like what are you really getting out of having Mike Conley as your off guard? You have a small shooter, and then and then the bench when you bring in DiVincenzo, it's the same thing. Like he's not really running the offense. He's a small off guard shooting guard.
I mean, honestly, if you're gonna move, Ant to the point, I actually would like to see DiVincenzo as the starting 2 guard. I think that would open them up a lot. I really do.
Defensively, though.
Defensively, you can't give him big minutes to go crazy.
I feel like you're just getting a younger, slightly more athletic version of the same look. With like
you're getting
having the ball and
you're getting a more efficient look because like DiVincenzo is a higher volume and a higher percentage shooter than Mike Conley.
He didn't shoot that well this series though.
That's because he never got into rhythm. But I think if you practice that off season, right, and that's what you're coming back with. And then you have Mike Conley leading the bench. Let's just say this. We were talking about if the team, gets another player. I don't know that they should blow up what they have going on. I think they need to develop it.
That's why I'm just talking about a shift. Like you don't think Nikhil played himself into a bigger role this
I don't
series?
think he shot enough. I think his defense is fantastic.
He had some big scoring games in this series.
Did he? I think the most I saw him was like 20 points or something.
That's not saying something.
DiVincenzo can get you 20 points and spread the floor.
But he didn't, and he's small.
That's true too.
Like when you're looking at matchups, like look at the problems they've had that they've faced, the teams that they go against. Think about how tall of a lineup Dallas had last year. Kyrie was the smallest player in their starting lineup at 6'2".
Yeah.
But then you got Luka's 6'8" self basically playing the 1. And then you go PJ Washington, who's 6'10". And then sometimes they would do a double big look where you got Gafford and what's his name? With the fro.
With the fro. Oh, yeah. Derek Lively.
Derek Lively. Like that's a huge lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a small guard out there. Like you look at the Thunder. I don't think they start anyone under 6'5".
They don't.
like they start at 6'6", their whole starting lineup. Like
that's crazy.
That's nuts.
They're literally built for this. This is insane.
Yeah, so I don't know if having a starting guard, a starting 6'1", 6'2" guard I don't know if that's going to get it done for you at these matchups.
You know, maybe you have a point because DiVincenzo only seemed to have one good game, and him and Nickeil Alexander shot the same 5 of 8 from 3. That was that 143 point win against the Thunder, game 3.
Yeah, games 2, 3, and 4. Nickeil played pretty well. He had 23 in game. Oh, sorry, he had 17 in game 2, 12 in game 3, 23 in game 4. Like,
he's cooking. Listen, it's in the DNA for them. For him,
he had a 20-point game against the Warriors in the series before that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking back to like DiVincenzo's usage on the Knicks, and he played at his best when he was in the starting lineup because he created an offense that could space the floor. And whether you have a guy like Julius Randle who doesn't necessarily shoot the ball well, but has the ball in his hands a lot, and you have somebody like DiVincenzo out there allows Julius Randle to go. And we know Rudy's never going to take an inside shot or layup, so it allows Ant and allows Julius to go in there. I think Nickeil Alexander.
Yeah, but defensively, the Knicks ran into the same problem. You have a tiny backcourt.
That's a big problem. I mean, we're not going to say DiVincenzo doesn't play. He gets steals. He plays good on-ball defense.
No one's calling them cones. We're just talking about like mismatch, like the size. You could put in as much effort as you want, but at a certain point, when you're talking about an elite player, and look at the Thunder backcourt, you're talking about Shea and Jalen Williams. Those are 2 All-NBA players in the backcourt
for that Thunder matchup.
Who are over 6'6". Like
for that Thunder matchup specifically, I think you're right. I think overall, better shot of starting DiVincenzo. But against the Thunder, I think you're right. Alexander does.
I think we're past like regular season talk, though, right? Like we're like
no, even just like
now. It's like, all right, what's the championship winning formula for this team, right?
You got to be careful too, because you don't want to. And I'm not saying anything bad, but you don't want to do necessarily what the Knicks did, like plan on beating one team, build your whole team around it, and then if you beat them too early, now you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it goes, though. Right, like you do
not necessarily.
You do have to kind of game plan. You just have to. The key is to find multiple ways to play.
Right.
But one of the ways you have to figure out to play is matchup dependent.
Right. No, that's true.
So I think the problem with the Knicks is that that's the only style they ever figured out how to play. Right. The way. And they tried all year to figure it out because they never beat them the entire season. So they spent the entire season trying to figure out how to beat that kind of team.
I mean, we had the formula, we just didn't have the bodies. And I know everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, Mitch Robinson! You know what? Mitch Robinson, he's one of the highest plus minus, if not the highest plus minus for our team. He is so impactful defensively that it changes offensive schemes. It really does.
Y'all don't see Nickeil as like a KCP type. Like in his development, he's still a relatively young player. Like he's 26.
I don't know what his trajectory is, if I'm being honest.
I see him. He's 6'5", 205. Shoots. What does he shoot from 3? He shoots 38% from 3.
Yeah, that's really good.
And he's only getting 25. He only got 25 minutes this year. He plays all 82. He's played 82 2 games in 2 seasons in a row. I don't know.
I could see that from him. For him and McDaniels specifically, I could see them both becoming really good two-way players if they both just stay consistent. More specifically with McDaniels, if they stay consistent with like the shooting, work on the shooting this summer for McDaniels, so like they could actually like run plays for you and stuff. Not like on-ball plays, but like get him more touches like off the screens and stuff like that. And I feel like that could really be his bread and butter if he became that kind of player for them.
Right.
I think that would be good.
Back in New Orleans, when he was getting 26 minutes, he averaged 13. He's getting 25 now and averages 9. I feel like with 30 minutes, you don't think he can average like 13, 14 points for you?
For sure.
Extra, we don't know. We don't know. They, like I said before, I'm in the camp that they don't need to blow anything up. They need to develop, but we know that the Wolves are currently looking for another star to match with Ant, and there have been allegedly rumors and conversations about that player being a certain 7-foot, unstoppable scorer that is currently wearing a Phoenix uniform.
Mike Conley started, but only played 25 minutes this year as well, and he's giving you 8 points. So you're playing them the same amount of minutes. Nikhil's technically averaging more, but you're starting Conley for what, veteran presence out there?
Yeah, but you don't need veteran presence necessarily.
He does a good job, like literally just passing the ball. He does that better than most other people on their team. But that goes back to the point guard conversation. He's just the only one who's actually like a true point guard and can set the pace in the offense. So that's really what they need. But I don't know, 25 minutes a game is not that much. So who else is doing it?
Yeah,
good point. That is a good point.
To close out with Ant, I have a very specifically framed question for us because there's a lot of Ant discourse, so I want to attack this from a different angle.
Sure.
Is Ant on the clock, ahead of schedule, or on pace?
On pace. Easily on pace.
Say more.
That's a good question.
The person I'm comparing him to specifically is Michael Jordan.
It's ridiculous, but go ahead.
Brother.
Just wait a second.
You understand how ridiculous? Do you understand how ridiculous that is? Do you know what Michael Jordan was doing in his second year in playoff runs?
Playoff runs. I was gonna say, look at his rookie year numbers.
No, I'm talking about playoffs. His second year,
playoffs. He was getting where?
He walked into Boston in Game 1 against Larry Bird and dropped 63.
Correct. And then what did he do that series?
He averaged 45.
And what happened to the Bulls?
They got swept.
Right. That's not happening to Ant. But he's on the same.
But we can't compare because
Ant's not in his second year. He's not in his third. He's in year 4, right?
But he's not even exerting the level of dominance for us. It'd be one thing if he was dominant and the team was losing, and we could say the team just got to get better. He did not play well. One could argue but one could argue the reason they lost is because he did not play well.
All right, fine. Maybe Michael Jordan's a little bit crazy, but I will say this: he is on the cusp of figuring out exactly the play style he needs to be consistent, right? He's developing the things he needs to develop. Is
he at 23, is he as good of a player, better or worse than Jason Tatum at 23, who is also going to back-to-back conference finals?
Jason Tatum at 23 was how old is he now?
Tatum right now is 26 or 27.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jason Tatum at 23 was in the NBA Finals. So
no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Because that was 2022. That was 3 years ago. If he's 26,
he's 27. So he was in the Eastern Conference Finals for the third time at that point.
Okay, so he's in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the next year he's going to the finals.
But Jason Tatum, do you remember? Do I need to pull up what he was doing in that conference finals?
Not this bullshit. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I'm asking. So I think that's a better comparison. Let's keep it in peer territory of people that are right in front of him. The last player who we thought this highly of this young was Tatum, right? I mean, outside of Luka, right? But Luka is clearly better and clearly more ahead of schedule. He went to a finals at 22, 23, right?
What?
Luka's only 24. He's younger than Austin Reeves.
Luka's only 24?
When I say the next decade is ours, y'all don't understand what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
How old did you think he was?
I thought he was 25, 26.
Oh, I lied. He's 26. I'm tripping.
Okay, that's what. Okay, all right.
I lied. But again, all right. So to my point, though, that's the generation right before him. The Luka, Tatum, that's the generation right before him. Luka went to a finals at 25, right? Cool. At 23, though, Jason Tatum was putting up 50 balls in conference finals, and the team just wasn't good enough.
That's a fact too. How old was Steph Curry when he made his first finals? He was 25, right?
Who?
Steph Curry.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. So,
but that's too far out. So Jason Tatum at 23, he was averaging 38 and 5. I mean, Lord. His playoff stats at 23. He averaged 27, 10, and 5.
There's not a whole lot to say. No. Is he as good as Jason Tatum at 23? No. Is he
So does that mean he's on pace?
Yes.
Ahead of schedule or behind schedule?
He's on pace. And the reason why
or on the clock, I said, yeah, on the clock.
He's on pace still because he's still getting to the Western Conference Finals. He's still producing at a high level to get his team there. While he might have fallen apart, the team he fell apart against is the best defensive team in the league, right? And they figured him out. I think this might be his Detroit Pistons. And they have
stop doing. How about the Bucks? Jason Tatum against the Bucks in 22.
Fine.
Which is the year they won, right? Isn't that the year the Bucks won the championship? So
they won, yeah. 20, yeah.
Or are we tripping?
No, so 2020, 2021 was Lakers.
So it's the Bucks. So it's a very comparable situation. You're 23 years old, going against the team that is eventually going to go on to win the championship. If we look at Jason Tatum's stats that series, hold on, Tatum versus Bucks in 22.
And pull up his shooting percentage too.
He averaged 27, 6, and 5. And yeah, he had a 46-point game in that series.
What was his percentage?
He had some poor shooting games for sure, but I mean, the lowest points he ever scored was 10 points.
What was his shooting percentage for the series? It has to have it right there.
43.
All right, 43 from the field isn't terrible. That's a high. I mean, it's not fantastic.
Yeah, but the series went 7 games, mostly because he forced 7 games, right? Like 30, 34, 46. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he had 29 the game before that 10-point game. If we look at Ant, Alan, what do you think? While police stats up about this question,
Well,
you've had a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah, so I think is it strictly compared to Jason Tatum?
I'm just using that as a peer sort of model, right? Like if we're thinking
or what about Shea, the guy that just beat him?
Shea had a very different beginning. We didn't think this highly of Shea when he was that young.
Exactly, yeah. So I honestly think Anthony Edwards is still ahead of schedule. Now, I don't think he was as good as Tatum because of everything we've been talking about looking up, but I also think Tatum was way ahead of schedule. And I also think Tatum had really good teams too. Yeah. So I'm not saying he was as good or better than Tatum. I just think he's even more ahead of schedule at his young age. But overall, I think Anthony Edwards is still ahead of schedule because the last 2 playoffs, I've seen him more so last year than this year, but the last 2 playoffs, I've seen him kind of like ascend into like superstardom where he's gotten better when he's coming into the playoffs. He took out KD last year. He took out notable players this year again, but more specifically is because he's taking on that role and he's became more dynamic in these last 2 playoff series. And I think like I said before, after an offseason, he comes back with more tools in his bag, and he kind of played his way into. I'm taking it all into account, not just the playoffs, but he played his way into like maybe top 6 player in the NBA, damn near top 7. If you want to get real picky.
I'm going to come back to that because there's an all NBA conversation we're going to have at the end of the pod where Ant, I think his raises his Atlanta ahead again, where there's like, now with this with this sort of blowout in the conference finals, now when the all NBA came out, just to sort of tease the topic, and Ant wasn't on there and Mitchell got it, I was like, I don't know. Y'all know I put Ant as a first team all NBA, but then the way he finished the conference finals, it's like maybe not. Maybe he is only a second team all NBA guy, right? But that kind of comes back to this question. I mean, so to compare Anthony in this conference finals, he averaged 23, 7, and 5. So he was significantly less effective, particularly down the stretch of the series. He ended the last 2 games with 16 points and 19 points, respectively.
Yeah. But I attribute that to how Andre was saying he just faced the most dominant defensive team in the league, man. He doesn't know
how to handle that. But the Bucks were that at that time. That was the PJ
Exactly.
Tucker, Brooke Lopez, DPOY still contender. Like that's why I like the comparison, because it's a very comparable situation.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I think Jason Tatum was more ahead of his schedule at the time. But overall, I think Anthony Edwards is still like in that class. He may not be as good as Jason Tatum was in that at that age, but I still think overall, because like
Give me to make that make
schedule-
sense. Give me someone who's on pace that you would say Ant is ascending at like ahead of schedule over who's a peer of his, like Ja.
Yeah, Ja was specifically who I was thinking.
Yeah, Ja fumbled that.
I wanted, but I also wanted
And Ja is on
man.
pace.
Yeah, I would say Ja's on pace.
I think Ja's behind schedule, actually.
That's kind of my point. If I look at
see.
Ja and Ja's, I would say Ja's kind of on the clock, which for me puts Ant as like on pace.
Hold on. Ja Morant is, how old is he? He's 25. Ja Morant, is he on pace?
25 and hasn't sniffed he hasn't even sniffed a semifinal.
You know who's really behind? This isn't hate, but Joel Embiid is incredibly behind. Keep going.
They're not in the same like peer group, I would say.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there because that man has also never sniffed. Listen, we're gonna get GTA 6 before Joel Embiid literally sees a conference finals.
Is like Trae Young in the same kind of like class?
Trae Young might be behind too.
But if
he's
behind,
never had a competitive team. Like I can't do that.
Maybe the Wolves should call him, make a trade for him.
Oh, actually, that's not bad.
Because Ant doesn't have to worry about 3-point shooting.
If you're gonna put a small guard out there, but you know what Trae Young would bring? Actual shot creation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Correct.
The narrative around Trae Young, like not being acknowledged as one of the best facilitators in the league, has to stop.
It really needs to die. He's been leading the league
I would say
like multiple seasons.
How about
for like five?
Cade and Tyrese are the only other people in this age group I would say are on pace, right?
They're in the same age group as Ant.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton is the same draft class as Ant.
Right, and so okay, another great comparison then. If Tyrese Halliburton is on pace, then Ant is behind. Because we see what he's doing in conference finals. He's putting up some of the great. He's putting up. No. That's one dud. Look at what he's averaging. He the game before that, he had one of the greatest statistical performances in any NBA game ever.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, but also, Ant has been doing this for 2 years now. This is the first time.
So has Halliburton. This is his second back-to-back conference finals.
No. He wasn't this good. He wasn't this good last year.
Halliburton.
But come on, this is his second conference finals. We're not going to do that.
No. Because last year he went up against a completely injured team. If he didn't win, he is ass. He needed to win.
I'm not going to put it this on the. I'm not going to put it on
the New York Knicks.
The
New York Knicks.
I'm not going to put it on the.
Our entire starting lineup got injured.
I'm not going to put it on the injuries itself, but like he's literally like playing different. Like he has a whole different swagger about him this year. He's playing with so much confidence. He's literally putting the team on his back. He's taking.
No, I agree, but then what does that say about where he is on his timeline? Right. He got to a conference finals. If you want to say accidentally on a fluke or luckily, sure, I think you could argue the kind of same about Ant. It would be less of a strong argument, but regardless, the first one is the first one. It is what it is. When they go back, and they both went to the Olympics this summer, right? So they both had very similar, if you want to call it 365s, right? Coming off a conference finals appearance, you go to the Olympics. Ant is the one that started and played a lot of minutes. Tyrese didn't play a lot, and they come back there next year. They are both all NBA guys, right? Second and third team. They both don't have great regular seasons in terms of wins, but they both go back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Hallie's playing this way, and Ant is playing the way he played. Who's the barometer? Who is the one that dictates the pace of where the two of them should be at? Is it Ant and then Hallie's just ahead of schedule? Are they both ahead of schedule and Hallie's just like I don't. That's kind of where I want to play, and we can end it on that. I think that's like the final perfect comparison. Like if we're looking at these two players in each conference who are kind of on very similar trajectories, not star power wise, but potency and reputation in the league. Like, what do we think about how those two have played in these conference finals?
I mean, obviously, Halliburton, with the exception of last game, is playing out of his mind. But if the series goes the way I don't want it to go, then I will say he's playing ahead of schedule. But if it ends and they're in the same exact place, then they're on the same. Then they're at the same level.
Are they when Hallie played the way he did?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Actually, but let me answer because how do I put it? So like who are comparing them to say that they're on schedule? Like if we're looking
Each
at
other,
that's why I went to Tatum, right? I went to Tatum at 23.
Yeah.
If you want to go the generation before that, you can go Luka and Shea at 23.
So then, but who in their like age group is? So if we're saying that these two are on pace, then there's no one currently in their age group who are ahead of schedule, then, right? Because I feel like they're the best.
That's kind of how I feel.
Really?
Wait, say it again. How do you think?
I think Ant's regular season heroics have made us feel like he's ahead of schedule, and then the playoffs sort of remind us, no, he's just on pace. And I think that's what you all were kind of saying with like, oh, he's going to come back and he's going to get better. I think a lot of people were expecting. I think even with LeBron's little comment when they beat them, like, yo, take the next step. I think people thought Ant was ready to be ahead of schedule and crack a finals at 23. But I think we're learning, nah, he's just on pace.
He's on pace.
He's taking his steps.
That's how
you crack a finals at 23, you're ahead of schedule, which I think that's with the whole superstar, is he a superstar or not narrative around Halliburton. I think that's what he's about to answer. Like, if he cracks a finals at 23, you got to kind of say he's ahead of schedule.
Right.
Dude, that's literally my point. I literally just said that.
No, yeah, to come back to your point, that's what I'm saying.
All right. I understand it now. I think I might agree.
Halliburton's not 23, by the way. He's 25.
And in the same draft class, so did he play more years in college?
Yeah,
I
don't even. Age is one thing, and also years. So Halliburton started older, which may give him the boost for sure.
He's more mature. He does more years in college.
Sure.
Another thing I like about these two specifically, they both played Team USA this summer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And
how old was Devin Booker when he cracked that finals?
He was older. I think he was 20, maybe 27, honestly.
Let's look it up.
Devin Booker's 28 right now. So when he cracked that finals 4 years
ago. He was 24. So it was the year, it would be the year after if we're looking at Ant.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he might be just on pace then.
You know what I'm saying? But then I think Devin Booker's a perfect example, of what all the OGs have been saying to Ant, which we don't need to reiterate, of like, it's not guaranteed you go back. Devin Booker hit a finals and probably had the same feeling like, I've arrived, I'm 24, I'm the best two guard in the league. Like, this is about to be my lifestyle, and he hasn't gotten to the second round since then.
Yeah, that's crazy. It makes sense why Ant thinks that. He's so young. He's never had like a serious injury yet. His team hasn't like plummeted yet, so I understand why he thinks that.
But wary because what happened to Phoenix? They blew up the core, and ruined it. And the Timberwolves have already shown a proclivity to doing something wild, right? They've already blew up his core once. And it worked out enough to get back to the same point. What if the next move they might do it again, right? That's how A-Rod and them seem to be moving, and they might ruin it. All to be seen. Let's pack them up. Words for the Thunder. Shea is who me and Dre have been telling you for a year that he is. Alan, do you finally believe us?
What, the face of the league?
I don't know if he's the face of the league yet, but he's
Listen,
damn close.
Shea,
He's about to be.
Shea,
No, because you know what the difference is? He's gonna look how he's supposed to look in his chip run. And so when they give it to him, unlike Tatum, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick. The people are gonna buy it. The people are gonna buy it.
we gonna see, man. But like the whole face of the league, I told you before. I feel like we gotta watch the progression of it. Like, cause you said it before, we didn't think like this of Shea from an early age. That's why I feel like the face of the league may not stick with him, because we typically like to see like the progression of him get to that point.
Right.
But Shay's that dude, man. The dude is just nice. Like, there's nothing. Like, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I just don't know if he's gonna be the face of the league, only because of like what I think the face of the league is.
What doesn't he have?
He doesn't. If I want, like, to reiterate what I said a few months ago, we never saw him as like that potential GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, people were like, LeBron came in as the face of the league. He never.
I got you.
We never like. We didn't have to see LeBron win to annoy him face of the league. He came in that we sat there.
That was a problem, but I'll let it go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But like we watched him like grow and develop into this super mega star. But the whole time from the day he got in, he was the face of the league. MJ, he quickly became that. Like, he quickly became like, yo, this dude is amazing. Like you said before, look what he's doing to Larry Bird in the playoffs. Like, he quickly got into that. With Shea, he's just now getting there. So I don't think he's going to be anointed the face of the league.
Can I give you a comparison narrative wise?
Kobe
AI. AI comes in, crowned. He crosses up Mike his rookie year. Like, he's an immediate superstar in Philly. Kobe was coming off the bench. But when we go back, all these people say, like, they come up with these stories about the way he used to talk when he was a rookie and how, like, he always kind of knew he was going to be mad good and how he wanted it. And it wasn't until he really started popping off around his third, fourth year that it started moving in that direction, right? Shea's got a kind of similar narrative. Not a super high draft pick, but you see all these Clipper guys coming out now after he's won MVP talking about, like, we kind of knew when he was a rookie, the way he was moving, the way he was playing, he was figuring it out. But like, this guy's talent was off the charts and he carried himself well. Like, we're starting to see that. Like, I think the problem with Shea is we didn't have backstory for him because, to your point, we weren't following him. Yeah. But I think kind of like Kobe, when your legend begins to rise, people get curious, and then the people that have been a part of the quiet journey start talking because you're starting to get the attention. So like the Lou Wills and the Pat Bev starting to come out with like stories of rookie Shea. Right. Like I just see the momentum. I think it's going that way where it's like, okay, now this guy's making us pay attention. Like, what's the story behind this guy? And I think once we get the story, like, now we're seeing his wife. Now we're seeing his kid. We're seeing his dad. The whole thing with him and his cousin. Like, we're starting to now get lore around the trajectory of Shea now that he's like here. And he's not just like, oh yeah, that kid's nice over there. Like, we kind of know Shea now. And he's got his shoe coming. I don't know. It just feels like, I feel like he's ready for it when it's like when he has his moment. I think he's gonna take it. And I think Tatum, they were trying to give it to him, but like, it wasn't organic enough. He didn't have enough built in. He's not public enough. I think Shea is public enough, and he's got enough backstory that when the light shines, he's got his presentation of, I'm a superstar to give to the world. Ant's too young. His stuff's not together. Ja was the same problem. Shea's 26, 27. He's got a family. He's got his shoe. He's composed. He's mature. He's got some backstory lore. I think it's just ready.
The only hesitancy I have for that is if the Thunder win.
I mean, we can get to that when we talk about. Let's talk about the Thunder. I don't see how they don't win a championship.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap. I think they got it.
We'll see. We shall
Brother,
see.
even if the Knicks make it, bro, they got nothing for
Yeah.
it. They have nothing for them.
I'm not hearing any of it. Okay, I'm not hearing any of it.
It's
If you're struggling to
to
guard
me-
Pascal Siakam, bro, what is Jalen Williams about to do to you?
Yeah,
Not a
bro, it's
damn
not-
thing. He's
Are
gonna
you
run
dumb?
into Mitchell Robinson.
Are you dumb?
Not
Are
a
you
damn.
dumb?
I'm not
Robinson.
worried. I'm not worried.
Mitchell Robinson has his hand full with Chet, who's quietly being a strong third option right now. And that's the scary thing. He's not even ready yet. He might be the number 2 when they all mature.
That's a fact. That
Like,
seems so crazy.
think about this, bro. Like, and I know for Thunder fans it's scary because it looks very similar to the situation they had before, where like they had guys who were like slightly ahead of schedule and looked really good and looked like they'd be good together for a long time. And then they got ruined because they. But here's the thing: look who they had to run into for that momentum to be stopped. They ran into a Miami Heat.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
The Knicks and the Pacers are not a Miami Heat. There is no super team that's in the way of this Rocket.
Listen, Knicks and 7.
There's no LeBron in the way of this Rocket. Who's
There's
the LeBron?
Jalen Brunson. I'm not here.
Come on, bro. Let's be real. Let's be real. That's not a like Shea went through Jokic. He went through the guy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. He went through the guy in 7 games.
Facts. It's their time. It's their time, man. It's their time. The Thunder fans had it coming for a long time. It's their time. Because just like Farrah said, I don't see the like.
A lot of people
first
saying
of all,
that was the NBA Finals. A lot of people are saying that.
Who's a lot of people?
Which
A
one?
lot of people, Thunder Nuggets. A lot of people are saying that was the NBA Finals.
Look, in hindsight, looking back on it now, I think so too. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of really impressed with the Nuggets that they took it to 7 games. Seeing this Thunder
right.
team, I'm
But
more impressed.
It's because Jokic is the guy, right? Like,
yeah. But like just like Farrah said, man, there's no LeBron to stop this young team because there's no weakness in their defense. Like
there's not many weaknesses in their offense.
Exactly. That's what our next point. That was our next point. They don't even have that much weakness in their offense. I could see being a good matchup against Indiana because the way Indiana plays offense. But even then, I don't think it's gonna last.
I think Indiana would play themselves into a trap. I think Indiana's strategy of speeding the game up, absolutely. That's a rare situation where like a team would be perfectly comfortable playing the way their opponent wants to play. Like if Indiana turns this into a run and gun game, OKC's gonna be like wonderful, excellent. Because in those kind of games, who wins? The team that could get a stop when they need to, and that's for damn sure gonna be the Thunder. So it'll be in the 130s, but they're gonna probably win by 10 because in the fourth quarter they're gonna be like, all right, Shea, slow it down,
lock in,
and then it's I don't see Tyrese closing the way he's been closing against the Knicks against the Thunder. He's not. If he goes band for band with Shea in the fourth, respect to Brunson is different. It's different when you go band for band with Shea in the fourth quarter.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not.
Brother, what have you been watching
in the fourth quarter?
What have you been watching?
I've been watching Jalen Brunson be the best fourth.
Have you been watching Shea?
Yes, I have. And Shea's a close second fourth quarter scorer. Very close.
I'm just talking about the look, though. Like,
I know
the threat of what Jalen Brunson is presenting to you in a close game in the fourth quarter is a different. He may be very effective, and you can call him number one. I mean, he is the clutch player of the year. But from a playoff perspective, I think I'm more matchup worried about trying to close a game against Shea. Honestly, that 6'6" demon. I can't put a small on him. I can't put a big on him.
That's why we have somebody that can take him. We have a couple somebody.
Mikal
Bridges. Hell yeah.
Cooked. Barbecue chicken.
Are you kidding?
Barbecue chicken. Mikal
doesn't get in foul trouble.
Against Shea?
Mikal doesn't get in foul trouble.
Literally everyone gets in foul trouble.
Everyone, bro. Everybody. And the Knicks get in foul trouble on their damn own.
Not Mikal Bridges.
If your plan is someone to stop Shea, you already lost. That's like
exactly.
No,
exactly.
There has to be another game plan because you're not stopping Shea.
I'll tell you what.
It has to be another game plan.
Because who's stopping
getting
Cat
his.
on that team? No one. Literally no one.
What?
Who's stopping
What?
Cat?
What? They have 3 7-footers to rotate. 3 of them.
And not a single one of them can guard Cat. Not a
Your
single
butt.
one.
2 of them can though.
Who? What's the second?
No, I
7?
mean like at a time.
So you're gonna send 2 7-footers out to the
I don't
perimeter?
have to send 2. I put one out there, and even if he blows by them, there's another one waiting for him at the rim, which he hasn't seen yet.
Who's that other one? Hartenstein?
Any combination of the 3, he hasn't seen that look yet. Usually, there's one big on the court. If he brings them out to the perimeter and he blows by, there's no size at the rim.
Except
The
for
Thunder-
running inside. Except that's exactly what's happening with the Pacers.
No, it's
And
not.
I
Who's the second 7-footer they have out there once he blows by Turner?
This is not something.
This is my point. Even if he drags Hardenstein out, or he drags other J-Dub out, or he drags Shed out, there's another 7-footer waiting back there.
Are you calling J-Dub a 7-footer? He's 6'8".
I'm talking about the other Jalen Dub,
Uh,
the center, who low-key clamped Jokic, but we don't want to talk about it.
Listen, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna get too much into.
He didn't play him enough minutes because Jokic still got his numbers, but they did a breakdown. The minutes that Jalen Williams was on Jokic's shooting percentage was like 20%.
I gotta see these numbers. Where are you getting these statistics from?
I swear on everything I love.
On everything?
On everything I love. Jokic shooting percentage versus Jalen Williams.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
While
I
we
don't
do
see
this,
the
let's
Knicks
talk
doing
about the
this.
other series. Dre, how you feeling?
I'm waiting to the night to see what's going on. I have nothing more to say right
That
now.
does not sound confident.
I was going to ask, do you feel confident at all?
No, I do actually. I'll take it back. I think we take Game 6 in Indiana because we're riding momentum right now. I think Cat. Someone talked to Cat a number of times. He got to get away from these dumb fouls. And Tibbs needs to learn. Tibbs needs to go watch tape. Okay, Tibbs needs to go back and watch tape and see. Oh wait, this worked. If he does what he is supposed to do, we are going to pack up Indiana like we're supposed to, and we're going to see NBA Finals. That's how I feel. That's my actual feeling. There is no reason for Indiana to run away with us, and I certainly believe that we have enough to beat them.
Well, I think I'm not 100% confident that I'm not just all like, oh, Indiana's going to get him tonight, about to ass. But I'm going to say Indiana closes it out tonight. I think the last game, y'all did a real good job of making them play not like how Indiana plays. I slowed the game down a lot. But
Yeah.
I think they fixed that. They fixed that this game. Because just like you said before, like Tyrese Halliburton did not play like himself.
No, he didn't.
He was kind of like not exist. He didn't even play bad. He was just like not.
He wasn't there.
not
Miles
doing
Turner also
Tyrese
didn't
things,
play
so-
well. And people are saying that's because they wanted to go finish it at home. Don't do that to us. Because we are right.
No, the Knicks just did a good job of like
Correct. I know.
of doing what the Knicks do.
Nah.
playing with
I'm not hearing that. You could see in the boys' energy that they was not ready to go on the road and go to the finals.
But you put that on. They wanted to win at
Not
home.
wanted to. There's a difference between like packing it in and being like, we rather win it at home, and not having the sort of thrust to be able to win it and go to the finals on the road. There's a difference. I don't think they packed it in. I think what it takes mentally and effort wise to go close a team out in their home arena, I don't think they had it. I just don't think they had it.
That's fair.
And Pascal kind of said it in that viral clip that's going around. Like, they play harder than us. Like, a closeout game is the hardest game you'll ever play in any series, right? To go into the Garden in front of the Knicks fans and pack them up to go to the finals, that takes a high level of resolve, energy, focus, determination. And they didn't have that. But at their home to go to the finals, like...
Yeah, I think... Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to close it out tonight. And I don't think the same mistakes are going to be made. But we're going to see.
I mean, it's the reverse question. Do the Knicks have enough to avoid elimination on the road?
Yes.
That's a position they haven't been in yet.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I'll tell you why.
Where do you draw that confidence? You haven't been in that position yet.
I draw the confidence because if
it were to win it on the road, that'd be different. I think you are a team built to go. I mean, you did it in Detroit, right? Unless I'm bugging.
Yeah. No. We did it in Detroit.
Yeah. So, like, I believe you are a team that can go. It's the
same energy. It's the same energy.
Not. It's a very different energy.
It's not very different.
Yes, it is.
You need to have the same mentality. You need to act like this is the last game.
No,
yes, you do.
It's so different. It's so different.
You need to have the same exact mentality. You need to have a killer instinct. In that
you're being hunted. It's so different. It's such a different
exactly. That's exactly my point. We're the ones being hunted. We need to turn the mentality as we're hunting.
But that's exactly right. That's the exact problem. You can't.
Why can't we?
Because at some point, I'm gonna explain it to you. At some point in the game, human psychology. At some point in the game, if you get down late, the thought comes in. Oh shit! This is it. There's no escaping that. And you have to fight that. When you're about to win, if you go down late in the game, you always have the thought, unless it's a game 7, you always have the thought of like, if we let this one get away, we can go do it again the next game. And so the idea is like, let's just not let it get there. Let's just try to finish this out and get it done now. When you're the hunted team, when it gets late and you're down, your thoughts are different. Your thoughts are like that hero ball tendency the Knicks have. That shit's gonna come out. Because it's going to be to save the season.
Maybe, I guess.
A 3-1 comeback is not for the weak, bro.
We're not weak. We're not weak. I'm telling you now.
You need a game 6 Clay. You need a Kyrie, LeBron 42 each.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you about the construction of this team. We have multiple guys who have proven along this playoff run that at the best moments, when it counts the most, they can close out in different
Who's
ways.
your game 6 Clay tonight?
It's either going to be Jalen Brunson.
That's not a game 6 Clay. He's going to do what he does. Jalen Brunson always does what he does.
Then it's Mikal.
This series has shown that you can be beat despite Jalen Brunson doing what he does. That's the biggest thing about this series is that it's the series where Jalen Brunson can't carry you. So who's your game 6 Clay? Because Brunson, y'all keep talking about Brunson. Brunson's been killing the whole series, and y'all still down 3-2.
Yeah, but that's number one because of fouls. That's a big killer.
Okay, so how's that stopping? Tell me how that's stopping.
Number one, that's
is Cat gonna? No, I'm saying what is changing about that? Is Cat gonna not do dumb fouls this game?
That's what he needs to do. He needs to avoid that.
What's going to happen?
Is that better happen? I can't tell you if it's gonna happen. I can't tell you if it's not. But listen, multiple people got on Cat. He needs to pay attention. Stop with this pushing. Just keep your hands up. That's it, man. That's all you
29, man.
This has been his issue. This has been his issue his entire career.
Yeah, but he's never been this close.
He has. He was in the conference finals last year.
Yeah, but last year it didn't look like they could take it. Right now it looks like they could take it. It looks like you can actually go.
How? They're down 3-2. How?
I'm telling you.
What is this guy talking about?
I'm telling you. Listen. If they believe what I believe, this doesn't feel like the end. This doesn't feel like we have made multiple historical moments in this series. Not in this. I'm sorry. In this playoff run.
What?
We can do it again.
Oh, you mean 20-point comebacks?
20-point comeback, 20-point comeback, 14-point comeback in game 3. We can do this.
Cat kind of spoke to this. I know that y'all wear that as a badge of pride. Having to do that many times doesn't sound like a championship team to me.
I've said this before.
Like y'all are gassed about that, but like that
should not be down 20 every game.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not championship basketball. That's Jalen Brunson heroics. And at some point, that passes out.
The Warriors on some of their best runs, they'll go into a third down and then just start killing.
Not 20.
Maybe not.
Oh, I said this when Paul started talking about that Kobe mess. I was like, you can't call him Kobe when you're down 20 points every game. You just can't.
Thank you.
What do you mean? 20-point runs. What are you talking about?
Not
every game.
Consistently, bro.
It's not every game. It's been 3 games. We played a lot. We played 20.
Going back to the start of the playoff.
Bro, championship teams, when they do that, they do it once, and it literally it rips the heart out of a team. Like the Celtics did that to us in 2008. They did it once in game 4, It was the greatest finals comeback at the time. I think there's been a greater one since then. But it was like a dagger. It was like even if you get us down 20, we're better than you. We're gonna beat them. You can't say that if it happens multiple times throughout the playoffs. It just means you've got a guy carrying that it just proves the Knicks are hard to put away. But at some point, that gets figured out.
I don't know. I don't know, and I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, but I'm saying this. Right now, looking at the Knicks, looking at Delon Wright, whatever the fuck his name is, playing more.
That man has a street named after him in our city. You like
Listen. If Tibbs does what he's supposed to do, we're making it out of this series. That's all I have to say.
Alan, any final points? I guess there's not really much more to say. Like,
I think in order for Knicks to win this game, y'all do what y'all did last game. Slow the game down, but like specifically get back on defense. If like when y'all miss, there's no like crashing offensive boards. That goes to Josh Hart. That goes to Dean. Okay, maybe one person could crash the boards, but the rest of the 4 people gotta get back on defense. And that's the only way to slow down Halliburton. He's going to come out real aggressive this game. He's going to be passing it ahead. He's going to be running the court. And if that doesn't happen, y'all going to get ran out the gym. So we'll see how that goes tonight.
because it would happen before the next pod, if the Knicks somehow do win this game 6, who do y'all have in game 7?
The New York Knicks.
In game 7, I have. Ooh.
This, you know what's crazy? This is exactly like our Nugget, like the discussion we had about the Nuggets last playoffs. All right. Game 6 is where you have to beat us. If the Pacers do not beat us tonight, they can go F themselves. The series is ours.
Yeah,
I did say that about the Nuggets last year. I said you have to go get that done in game 6. You don't let it come back for a 7.
You don't let it come back for game 7.
If it goes to 7, I'm gonna go to Knicks. I think they will let some shifts too much at that point.
I agree.
Yeah.
We win tonight, it's over.
No, it's not over. It's a tall task. I just got y'all. Be clear.
No. You say what you need to say. I'm saying what I need to say. If we win tonight, we are winning the series.
But who do you have tonight, Pharaoh?
He has the Pacers because this man's actually from LA or Toronto or everywhere else except for New York. He doesn't want to claim us.
I don't claim New York.
Good.
I don't know what that says. I just see an N. Now I see an NYD. NDY.
Ooh.
I don't claim
New York. I see it. All right. I see it.
Don't claim New York. Are you dumb?
I see it.
5-0, by the way, in case anyone cared out there. Y'all didn't want to talk about it.
Let's go Liberty.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it.
Who's y'all?
T. Cloud, Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
The playoffs the NBA playoffs are happening right now. We're not worried about the WNBA regular season.
Exactly, that's your problem.
That's crazy to say.
Is that crazy? I'm not worried about it right now.
Yeah, see, that's your problem.
That's crazy to say. I'm not saying all that.
I'm not worried about any.
There's a defending champ starting their defense in our city, and you talking about it? You don't care as a conference finals where you're down 3-2. That's more important to you than a defending champ starting the year off 5-0, 6-0.
Listen, I expected them to do that. If I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
So I'm not as worried. I'm not as worried. The Liberty are a really, really, really well-run team. They actually are. They have enough star power.
Alan, how do you feel about that? That Clara, Clara seems to know what she's doing just a tad bit more than Joe.
I don't know, bro. Like.
Maybe Clara should run the Nets.
She should. Maybe she should. Or maybe whoever she got as the GM over there, hire them for the Nets too. They get all work for offense. Sean Marks is on the clock to me.
He needs to be.
But it's not gonna happen. That man has been doing that to shot for 10 years. But he's better. He's still better than Billy King. I'll tell you that.
That's a fact.
Billy King can't come around me.
Get Lawrence Frank back.
Oh, that's one. He's on the Clippers now, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's in the Clippers front
Yeah,
office
he's the front office of the Clippers. He's not leaving that job. Front office
at all.
LA.
At all. At all. New
What, all those
arena,
perks, but in LA,
revenue.
Nah. That's
All
a
right.
dream. A front office job is
Yeah.
a dream.
All right, so we'll see you tonight. To end this off, let's see who of us is smart. So me and Dre were the only ones being honest about MVP. We had Shay. We were correct.
Correct. I'm sure I was right about most of it.
They put the fix in.
Again, me and Dre, you were absolutely ridiculous with your 6-man pick. Me and Paul correctly said Peyton Pritchard. Allen threw out Malik Beasley.
That was a good pick.
Was he a finalist? Let me see.
Yeah, he was top 3, I think.
Was he?
Finalist for 6-man. Yeah, he was a finalist. It was him, Peyton, and Ty Jerome, which I think we eventually said Ty Jerome was up there. So kudos to us.
Yeah.
This man said Russ.
And he was not coming off that answer too.
No, it wasn't.
We all got Rookie of the Year right, and Stephon Castle. Good for us. Most improved. I think we didn't write it down, but I think we all said Cade. And they gave it to Dyson Daniels, which I thought was very interesting.
Oh, they did? Wow.
Fantastic. His defense was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but I would roll with that if Cade wasn't a finalist and you were just saying like, oh, he was already really good. But to make Cade a finalist and then lose to Dyson Daniels,
yeah, that's not good.
That doesn't make any sense. Like,
crazy.
like that doesn't. But anyway, okay, all NBA. You all were right. And Mitchell got in over Ant, which goes back to our earlier conversation. You put Donovan on this Minnesota team.
Yeah, he goes to the same spot.
Do they?
I don't even know if they make the Eastern. I don't even know if they make the conference finals.
Well,
see, I was going the other way. I was going to give credit and say that, like, if we look at their playoff performances, I might have. I forgot how Buck D Mitch goes in the playoffs, and I was gonna say, I think that is right. I think Mitchell is a first team guy, and Ant is only a second team guy at this point in his career. Because if you put Mitch on this Thunder team, on this Wolves team, I don't know if they beat the Thunder, but I think it goes probably 6-7.
Has Mitchell Robinson?
It might go 6-7.
Not Mitchell Robinson. I'm sorry. Has Donovan Mitchell ever made a conference final?
He's never had a team good enough to do so. And
he had a good. No,
I don't care about regular season record. We know this, bro. The Jazz and the Cavs are the Atlanta Hawks in 2015.
What are you talking about?
We have to stop this regular season.
Yeah, the team good enough. I'm not hearing this. I'm not hearing this. This is malarkey.
Do you really think this roster was that good? Let's be real.
Yes.
Come on, bro. So you thought the Atlanta Hawks were supposed to go to the conference finals in 2015, huh? Allen.
I don't know about the Hawks, but I think they should have been the Pacers.
I don't.
I'm not saying
they had no Mobley, no Hunter, and no Garland.
They didn't have Mobley.
Garland came back.
Yeah, but games get played and then you lose them and you go down.
Okay, fair
Mobley was down 1, Hunter was down 1, and I think Garland was down 2. You're not winning.
Fair enough. So the loss because of injuries, but that's not to say that the roster isn't good enough. But if it's the injuries, then you're right.
And then he got hurt last year, and then those Jazz teams were fake. We don't know those Jazz teams. Rudy Gobert was on the team. He was at the scene of the crime.
I'm not.
Yes, they were. Rudy Gobert was
the one seed.
Rudy Gobert was at the scene of the crime. I'm done with the regular season standings. I'm done with it.
But
he went to the finals as an 8 seed, bro. Standings mean nothing.
If Donovan Mitchell was on Minnesota, I don't know if they would have won the series or taken the 7. But I don't think he's going to have like 16 in the game. So
but if he doesn't, this team, but the thing about again, it informed and the offense is so predicated around Ant's production of offense and figuring out double teams. Who is further along in their career in terms of analyzing double teams and getting their guys good open shots and also killing at the same time?
Yeah, Donovan. That's what I'm saying. Like he's not getting those 16 in the playoff game. So I agree with you. Like at that point. Yeah, so if you want to take that into account, yeah. But
I just think this is why I always say I like the end of season awards I always rock with are the all NBA and all defensive teams because they get proven right. And I think this was proven right. I think Mitchell, we learned he isn't he's a first team guy. And as much as the regular season fooled me into thinking he's a first team guy, like a lot of the world, I think the way he went out in the playoffs is shown. No, he's just a second team guy. Like he's almost there. And I'm giving credit to you guys for that. You guys were absolutely right about that for the wrong reasons, but you were right.
He's on pace. And here's the crazy
reasons.
Because y'all were giving it to him because of 60 wins, and like I don't care nothing about that.
I mean, you don't care about it, but that's the award.
That's a fact.
Nah. I think it's the credit to the player, and I think we learned it got proven in the playoffs that Mitchell is probably a better player than Ant right now, even though no one will ever say that out loud.
Because Mitchell Robinson, no, I keep saying Mitchell Robinson. I'm thinking of Mitchell Robinson. I got him on the brain. Because Donovan Mitchell isn't making conference finals, even though he's consistently had the number 1 and number 2 seed, and that's an indictment.
They're fake, though.
You got to stop saying that. You can't. Then it's not him. Then it's not him that's good enough. It's his teams.
No, stop it.
That if they're fake and it comes down to him.
You think they're fake because of him when he's putting up 40 balls every fucking playoffs?
I don't think that. That's what you're saying. I'm saying
no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm saying they're fake. I think all those shots that they make in the regular season are fake.
What?
All the shot making that those role players do in the regular season to get 60 wins, that's fake because it all went immediately out the window when the playoffs started. Immediately. He was the same. He picked it up, actually. He went from averaging 24 to averaging like 34 in the playoffs. All the rest of his guys fell off cliffs.
That's actually
fell
fair.
Off cliffs.
That's kind of fair. I don't know where these guys went. I'm not going to front.
And I think that's actually a problem with and Gil said this on the Gil's Arena. That's a problem with how they play in the regular season. They got to stop that equality offense over there because in the playoffs, we all know it's not going to go that way. And then those guys aren't used to how to be productive with Donovan being ball dominant. He's got to do that in the regular season. If he's going to be a first team guy, he's got to put up first team guy numbers all season, get everyone accustomed to their limited roles. And so when you come into playoffs, everyone's prepared for that. They want to do this egalitarian offense, and none of these guys are getting those shots off or making those shots in the playoffs, man. Anyway, second team, no one got it right. I think
at all.
Not even close. I think the closest is probably Dre and Allen.
Let's go.
Because they had 3 right. So the second team was Brunson, Curry, Ant, LeBron, Mobley. Dre, you had Curry, Brunson, Ant, Cade, Cat. So your last 2 are wrong. Allen, you had Ant, Brunson, Steph. Allen was the closest. He had 4 right. He had Ant, Brunson, Steph, and LeBron. He just had Cat instead of Cade.
Weird. Yeah, they messed us up with that when they took out the positions for this.
I tried it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I told you don't focus on that, but
yeah, I mean, I would if I had gone with y'all on the Ant Mitchell thing, then me and Allen would have the same exact thing because I had Mitchell, Brunson, Cat, Curry, LeBron. So we all, well, us 3, we had Cat in there when we should have had LeBron. None of us had Mobley second team, which is crazy. Mobley got second team over Cat. How do y'all feel about that?
I don't like that at all.
I feel like Cat went crazy during the regular season, so I feel
Cat was the second best center in the league this season, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
But if we want to talk about regular season performance, if y'all say this was the award is about, I think again, I don't think you can rationalize having 2 All-NBA second team players and not beating a single contender all year.
I don't know why we're so focused on that. They're the third best team
It's
in the East,
important.
fifth
Yeah,
best team in the league.
But think about it. You're third best in your conference, but you have 2 All-NBA second team players.
Yeah.
Nah.
Every other.
That doesn't make sense.
It makes as much. Listen, you said it before. Seeding doesn't make sense. I know it's a regular season award. The seeding doesn't always go.
Now you want to go. Now you want to go to seeding. Doesn't matter.
I didn't say it before. You brought it up.
I know, but go ahead. Now
I'm just telling you.
Do what you do. Flip flop.
I don't flip flop. I'm using your logic against you.
That's literally flip flopping.
That's not flip-flopping.
Because I'm doing that to you right now. So now you're flip flopping.
So you're flip flopping.
No, I'm using your logic against you. I'm saying this only makes sense according to the logic that you want to use. And now
I'm saying it only makes sense according to the logic you want to use.
No, it doesn't. My logic would have Cat be second team. I don't agree with this.
So
but I'm saying it all.
Agree. Wait a second.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it makes sense according to the logic you want to use.
That's not what's the logic I want to use that you're claiming I'm
regular season performance. That's why I'm looking at you like, why do you disagree?
Wait. When did I say this? Hold on. When did I say that?
I'm not doing this with you, Alan. Mark it. You watched Alan. Alan is always a witness. Watch it live. It just went on a whole thing about how I said regular season records and standings don't matter, and you debated me. But now when your guy doesn't get second team, now you don't want to use regular season performance when that's clearly why he got second.
Honestly, even if we use regular season performance, his regular season performance was better than Mobley.
No.
Yes. 1 million.
Now when you win 60 games. And play defense. Don't forget that part. Don't forget that part. 2-way. That's why I love all NBA teams. Two ways.
That's true. I'll give you that part. That part's fair.
Paul was completely off. He had Brunson, Cat, Harden, and just completely wrong. All he had right was Brunson. All he had right was Brunson. Did he even have Ant second team? Oh yeah, he had Brunson and Ant, so he had 2 right. Me and Alan I had 3 right. Alan had 4 right. Dre, you had 3 right.
Let's go.
All right, third team, we were all completely off.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not everyone. I said Jalen Williams, and y'all said I was crazy.
No, we didn't. I also had J-Dub, and so did Alan.
Oh.
Shut up, bro. So did Paul. we all had J-Dub. All of us.
I remember initial drafts of us consider. No, you know what it was? What I was thinking of? I was thinking of what
Dre, you had AR.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. I did, and I said
who was the closest. So we all had J-Dub. So we all had 1.
You know what I was thinking of with that J-Dub take? I was thinking for the All-Star game. I said that, and you guys were like, "That's crazy."
I had J-Dub and Cade, so I had 2 right. Alan, you also had Cade, so you had 2 right. Okay. Who else? Did anyone have Harden? Dre, you had Harden, so you also had 2 right. I also had Harden, so I had 3 right. Alan, you also had Harden, so you had 3 right.
Nice.
And I think that was it because you all had Cat elsewhere, and Mobley was. Wait, no, because Cat was you all had Cat elsewhere, and a lot of us had Mobley, who was second team. And did anyone have Tyrese? No one. Oh, Paul had Hallie, so Paul had 2 right as well. So we all had 2 right.
I think I had Siakam right. Hallie.
No, you had Harden, Cade, J-Dub, Sengun, Mobley. So you had 3 right. Harden, Cade, J-Dub. You had 3 right. I also had 3 right. I had the same 3 players. I had Cade, J-Dub, Harden. Dre had 2 right. He had Harden and Dub. Paul had 2 right. He had Hallie and Dub. So once again, me and Alan doing the Lord's work basketball-wise.
That's a ridiculous take. You just said we all had
me and Alan were in the finals or the winner of each of these guesses.
Right.
You just said we all had 2.
Me and Alan have 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you got 3.
Yeah. Myself or Alan or both of us were the winners in every one of these categories.
That's a fact.
That's wild.
Let's go. NBA, give us a vote. Come on, man.
You heard?
For real.
Give us
For
a
real.
vote.
Give Fast Breaks a vote so I can get Russell Westbrook on the 6-man team.
Let's go through
And there
picks
it
now
goes. There goes.
that the conference finals are. Dre, Thunder Grizzlies, you had Thunder in 4. You were right, I think, right? Did they sweep them?
I think they did.
Yeah,
Paul and Allen had Thunder in 6. Y'all was giving Grizzlies a lot of love.
A lot.
Too much love.
A
Too
lot
much
of love.
I thought Ja could get you 1. I had Thunder in 5.
Yeah.
I won that series. Let's go.
Nuggets Clippers. Dre had Nuggets in 6. Paul had Nuggets in 7. Allen had the Clippers, just Clippers. I had Clippers in 6. That one really let me down. I really thought the Clippers was gonna pack them up. Aaron freaking Gordon on some BS twice.
They won in 6, right?
I'm pretty sure I said 7. You didn't put that on?
I didn't
said
see it.
Clippers
Yeah, I
7.
didn't. You might have
Yeah.
said it. We were all wrong with the Timberwolves, which proves that the Timberwolves really did shock the world in that series,
OD.
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. Allen believed in the Rockets. He had the Rockets in 7. What did they go down in 6, right?
Yeah.
So that was me and Dre. We had Warriors in 6. Cavs, it doesn't matter. Who had the Pacers? Only Paul had the Pacers in 7 versus
He
the
actually
Bucks.
believes in them.
I said Giannis in 7. Oh man, we all had the Knicks right, and we all obviously had the Celtics right, and we didn't do predictions after that, which was probably silly of us. But that is our end of season award wrap up. We're coming down to the last couple games. Tonight will likely decide the NBA Finals. If not, then Monday will.
Yep.
Is it Monday or Tuesday? Monday?
No, let me make sure. I'm going to look at the camera as I say this. Tonight,
I'm clipping it. I want you to know I have that last clip saved, and I was ready to post it today, but y'all got one on Thursday. If they lose tonight, that clip is going out immediately. I don't want to be fake. I'm saying this transparently to you. The clip is prepared. The minute the Knicks lose tonight, that clip is getting posted. Caption in memoriam.
Fine. So let me look at the camera and say this. Tonight will decide the NBA Finals. And if the Knicks win tonight...
Hold on. Yep, center stage him. Center stage him. I'm going to add this to the clip.
One more time. Wait.
There we go.
There you go.
To all you people out there, Fast Breaks family,
God.
tonight will decide the NBA Finals. And if the Knicks win tonight, we are going to the NBA Finals. I believe it, I mean it, and we will see it. Knicks in 7, baby.
Clock it. I don't know how to get out of this, so Fast Breaks.
I kind of like this. This is fire.
Wait.
Actually, I kind of like it too.
Yeah, it's kind of fire.
You know, I feel like it'd be weird before though.
Maybe it'd be very slim.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Catch y'all next week. Where I expect a lot of black to be worn.
Oh man.
For the Pacers?
Y'all know that meme with the guy at the funeral? I'm gonna show up
Plotting on my ops. Yeah. I showed up just to make sure he was dead. That's literally me next year. I'm coming to the pod just to make sure they're dead. Like, all right, y'all, light it up. Go Liberty.
Peace. Go Liberty.
Come on. It's Fast Breaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet.